You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
What's happening, peeps? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy, with me, your host, Jan. I do hope you're doing well. Really do hope that. And I'm gonna try and speak English clearly today, though I am getting through an illness. I had some ear infection thing. But anyway, welcome back. Chelsea fans still feeling pretty negative and turgid. Rightly so, after some very, very poor performances, 1 win in 7 games. That will be enough to turn the stomach, especially after such a promising start to the season. I do think a good season is still there to be had, a top 5 finish, a trophy in the Europa League conference. The feeling come the end of the season could be positive still. But today we're doing Chelsea news, a little bit more on Nkunku, apparently agreeing terms with Bayern Munich, which wouldn't be surprising at all. The Mathys Tel situation could pick up. I do want to look at his stats a little bit as well. Mathys Tel, and compare him on understat to Nicholas Jackson, which I think is going to be quite interesting. Romano himself is saying that it's going to be a busy time for Chelsea over the remaining 6 days of the transfer window. I believe it closes on February 3rd. So yeah, we're going to get into it today. As always, thanks for joining me, and thank you for supporting the content. You can do so by liking and subscribing. Hey, only if you want to. This video is brought to you by Stocks FC, my partner. I just want to show you my portfolio here. Stocks FC is a stock market exchange for players. It's a little bit like Fantasy Premier League in terms of you testing your knowledge and getting rewarded for it. It's 18 plus because you put a little bit of moolah in, or however much money you want to. This is my portfolio. I am up on the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Morgan Rogers, Raul Jimenez, and Reece James is my big one, up 83.6%. I got him just when I knew he was coming back from injury. I'm probably going to sell these stocks now while he's high. I'm not doing so great with all these man down here. Nkunku. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to Nkunku until he moves club, hopefully. But yeah, $10 in Nkunku is not my finest work. Anyway, do go check out Stocks FC. It's a lot of fun. This opportunity for you to just do some fun football stuff, make a few quid. You can click the link in the top of the description or pinned comment, or you can scan this guy right here throughout the video to go check out Stocks FC. Just see if you like it. The platform's a lot of fun. All right. So we're going to talk about transfers, Chelsea transfers. I'm going to sip my coffee, so to do that, I will pause the recording. Oh my god, look at this. So I've got a Game Boy mug, yeah, for those of you old like me that remember the Game Boy had it's got a green screen that's not backlit. And when there's hot liquid in the mug, it turns green and then it goes down. But because it's green, it's acting as a green screen, which is fun, isn't it? Ooh, bricks on my face. So that's exciting. Right. Okay. I'm not going to be talking about potential outgoings, because until we get more news on your Chili Bees, your Ben Chilwells of this world, your Chukwuemekas, he could end up at Strasbourg if I suppose we recall Caleb Wiley, because the new centre-back we bought, who arrives in the summer, isn't a loan spot because it's a pre-agreement. So in terms of outgoings, of course, Renato Vega has been pictured in Turin. He's loaned to Juventus, is pretty much done to play centre-back. It is no option or obligation to buy. And if we are to believe the briefings, he does actually want to stay at Chelsea. It could be a little bit similar to Mathys Tel, a player we're just going to start talking about in a moment here. Actually, you've got to shout out if guys, Goat Gang merch is available. Caps, truckers, snapbacks, or just caps like this, as well as the apparel. And I'm going to get a stitched version as well. Put links down. Footballtherapy.shop, or links below the video. Look, man, Football.365, speaking a little bit about Nkunku here. Hold on, my door, 1 second. And I'm back. Yes, lots of people talking about Christopher Nkunku at the moment. Chelsea want a lot of money for him. 70 million quid, apparently. But look, I want to reference and speak about the Manchester United links. I wouldn't feel great about Nkunku going to Manchester United. Although one thing that's changed for me a little bit is his attitude, because I've always really liked him as a player, but for a long time now, I've sort of accepted how he just doesn't suit the Maresca system. And in fact, if you want to accommodate a great player like Nkunku, you probably got to play in a certain way. So I had that kind of position on him, and I didn't want to send a great player to Manchester United. But the fact how he just so doesn't want to be at Chelsea anymore and just sort of jogs around a little bit, trying not to get injured. Like, for me, that game against Man City, he had over half an hour, 35, 40 minutes, whatever it is, all in, 35, a significant amount of time to make an impact or just show a sense of application. He didn't do it. It was kind of like, oh, if there's a ball in the box, I'll try and score a goal and it helps my value, but I'll just not get injured because I'm out of here, basically. So I do feel like whatever now. Like, if Man United pay the money for him, because there's, in Football 365 here, the headline is that they're discussing £70 million bids, although unlikely, and they'd prefer a straight loan. Of course, the big story at Man United at the moment is Marcus Rashford. He's just not getting picked at all for the Manchester club, and he's got days to get out of there, and it looked like he was going to go to Milan, but then they spent the money on Walker. It's tricky. Anyway, so Chelsea and Bayern Munich are talking a lot, okay? About Nkunku still, the aforementioned, and Mathys Tel as well. So this is 90 min, Tom got. Chelsea offered hope over Bayern forward as Christopher Nkunku awaits verdict. I'll just read you a bit of this. Chelsea's target, Mathys Tel, could soften his stance on a move away to Bayern Munich this month. A report claimed with Christopher Nkunku the preferred replacement should he leave Bavaria. The Blues want a new forward this month. As in, like, this week. Not even the entirety of the week. And have been chasing Tel, but the 19-year-old's reluctance to leave Bayern has seen them look at alternative targets. This is including Jamie Gittins and Manchester United's Alejandro Garnacho. I think Garnacho has been playing quietly okay for Manchester United at the moment, but I understand, looking at our problems, he isn't the sexiest solution, and I understand why Chelsea fans aren't getting excited by that. Tel has been determined to fight for more minutes at Bayern Munich up until this point, but after 3 consecutive games without making it off the bench, so not a single minute in 3 games, it states the situation could be changing. I swear he's been playing for Bayern Munich since he was like 17, Tel? Like, he's 19 now. Apparently he'll reportedly seek further talks with Bayern manager Vincent Kompany in the coming days to clarify his future, having managed just 396 minutes across 13 appearances this season, starting just 3 games in all competitions. Should Tel opt to leave Bayern, he would not be short of offers. As many as 7 clubs are believed are keen to sign him on loan, but Chelsea will try and sign him permanently. So no loan for Chelsea. Everyone else wants to loan him. Chelsea want to sign him. We're going to look at stats in a minute, so strap yourselves in. Bayern would be open to selling Tel, as it would allow them to pursue a move for Nkunku, who is also prepared to swap the club this month after finding himself being stuck behind Nico Jackson in the Chelsea pecking order. The only way Bayern could afford Nkunku is if they sell Tel. That rhymes. So the 2 deals are tied to each other, even if they would be negotiated separately. Of course, it remains to be seen if Tel with Bayern and Nkunku could find themselves the subjects of a negotiation. Speaking about Manchester United as well. All right. The reports coming from Germany as well suggest that Christopher Nkunku has agreed terms broadly, loosely, with Bayern Munich to go there. I mean, where does he not get time to do this? But like, is that even allowed, tapping up? Would Chelsea actually endorse that? Because should they get an agreement over the line, they wouldn't want Bayern Munich and Nkunku like messing around for ages trying to get an agreement. It actually probably benefits Chelsea if there is an agreement there, if the groundwork's been done, I suppose. But yes, apparently he's agreed terms with Bayern Munich to transfer there. Let's just talk about this a little bit before we look at Tel's stats. If I could have it my way, I would sell him to Bayern Munich. And I think if he had his own way in Nkunku, he would go to Bayern Munich, because he did so well for RB Leipzig. He won the top scorer despite being injured for 2 months this season before we bought him. He works really well in that league, how they play, very transitional, lots of space to run into. You know, Timo Werner scores millions of goals over there. Do you know what I mean? Certainly the first time round at Leipzig when he was running quite hot. And Nkunku he flourished for Leipzig. He will flourish more so for Bayern Munich. Massive club, should ensure he continues to be selected for, the France national team. If you're starting for Bayern Munich as a French forward, you know, Kingsley Coman and people, well, they generally will get called up for the squad, and that, of course, will be his target, being 27 years old now. Man United, obviously, like, the thing is, it's so tricky with Man United because they're changing under Ineos. It used to be like, oh, they'll just go there and get the bag. Like Mason Mount, you know, gets paid loads of money there. That's not something they do now. They're being a little bit more structured like Chelsea, but you'd still think he'd get paid a lot of money there, I guess. If he goes to Man United and does well, it would just be a bit of a sickener. Like, I don't wish pain upon any other human being. I'm just not that kind of guy. But Mason Mount obviously has posed no threat to Chelsea at Man United. Even Kai Havertz, who's done broadly well, I've got no regrets selling Kai Havertz to Arsenal whatsoever. I can't imagine many Chelsea fans do. He's on like best part of £300,000 a week there, like 2.5 times the amount Cole Palmer is. We got a book profit on him when we sold him for 68 million quid or whatever. We only bought him for like 71, and we had him for 2 years, so that's a profit on the books. It was a great signing, and we alleviated ourselves of even what we were paying him was like well over 200k a week. So it's still a great sale for me. Do you know what I mean? So I don't feel like we've been stung yet. Again, Kovacic going to City, been useful. He was sort of part of a title-winning season, but he's 30 plus and a bit part player. Nothing's really hurt us, you know. Nothing's really Cole Palmered us. Do you know what I mean? Like Sancho, jury's still out of Man United. It looks like a great signing because he cost 25 million quid, which is just an absolute bargain. And he's already, you know, got over 6 assists or something. So he's not looked like a nightmarish Cole Palmer situation for United, but that could prove to be a good signing. I just wonder if Nkunku goes to United. I do actually rate Amorim despite how bad they've been. If he starts playing as one of these inside forwards in that left channel like he likes to play and scores loads of goals for United, it would look silly for us. Not in we had this player we should have been playing, because structurally, positionally, many people can kind of see, well, yeah, he's not a left winger and he's not a striker. And Cole Palmer's playing in the 10. So I think no one's ever going to really criticise Chelsea for letting him go. But I just don't like the idea of him going to Man United. Anyway, I promised you Tel stats. So let's do it. Have a look here. Look at his scouting report first. I want to look at his strengths on FB Ref. Now, he's a versatile forward, remember, that can play across the different positions, but he'll play as a striker a lot better than the likes of Nkunku. His super strengths are passing, which I suppose is good, especially for the Premier League, medium passing. He doesn't lose challenges for a striker. He's a hard tackles dribblers, so he is really like gets stuck in. He's very strong with his percentage of aerial duels won, over 59%, which is great. You want that for your forward. And goal-creating actions, 97th percentile. So this seems like an all-action, hard-working, creative number 9 who can dribble. His long passes are good as well. And just generally, so he's very good at passing generally. And he works hard and he's good in the air. And he can play across the front three, right? He's not for me like a Samu or a John Duran, but he is a bit of everything. I want to show you this here. This is his understat, okay? So the green part of the graph is Mathys Tel, and a grant is only just over 1,200 minutes. It's still a good sample size, but we're comparing against Nico Jackson, who's played 4,500 minutes in the same period, the last 2 seasons. But it's not like this is just, 400 minutes off the bench. It's still over 1,200, so that is a sample size that tells you a lot. And Nico Jackson, of course, is blue. Now, looking at it, off the bat, Jackson makes slightly more key passes. It's, it's only a little bit more, but that deserves a shout out. Jackson can do that. We saw that with that through ball for Cole Palmer the other day. And then the other thing that Jackson's better, and this actually isn't a good thing, is expected goals per 90. Okay. And this is probably largely because he plays more 90 minutes in the team plan, structure and stuff. Jackson is expected to score. Okay. And guys, expected goals as a metric is like an average governing metric of what you should score. Now, good strikers, like of strikers that play for big clubs, like a Chelsea. And again, Jackson's good, he's young, he's developing. But often, like your Mo Salahs, your Erling Haalands, your really good forwards for the good clubs, Harry Kanes, will outperform their XG, right? Unless they're just so relentless, constantly getting chances in high volumes because they're so good at being in goal-scoring positions, then you don't need to outscore it because you'll just get the chances. But to Jackson, right, he consistently underperforms his expected goals. So his expected goals per 90 is 0.64 goals, yeah? That's significantly more than a goal every other game. So maybe that's ending the season with, and bearing in mind he's off penalties as well, maybe 20 non-penalty Premier League goals. That's what he's expected to score, say, at that rate, which is significant. And again, if you're on pens, you're a golden boot winner. But he scores 0.45. So there's a 0.2 basically underperformance consistently over 2 years. Whereas you look at Mathys Tel, yeah, again, other league, whatever. Mathys Tel, his expected goals per 90 is 0.43, but he's scoring 0.52. So he's consistently overperforming, scoring more than you expect him to. So Jackson's line's going underperforming significantly, but Tel's line is overperforming. And if we're like, I just want to have a look at this season. Okay, so he's not scored this season because he's not played at all. But last season, yeah, same again. So last season's just in isolation, yeah. He's less than 1,000 minutes to Jackson's 2,800, so you got to take it with a pinch of salt. But look at these lines crossovers; they're opposites. Jackson's significantly underperforming his XG. Mathys Tel is overperforming. And another thing, again, just to look at these 2 seasons, give him a few more minutes. What's he really good at? Everything else he's better than Jackson. He takes a high shot volume per 90, taking nearly 4 shots per 90, which I like. I'm a big fan of shot volume. His assists per 90 is more than double than Nico. His expected assists, he's outperforming that, but that's to do with probably good finishes on the pitch. Slightly less key passes, but that's probably how Bayern play as well. His expected goal chain per 90, expected goal build-up per 90 is way stronger. So in terms of build-up play, he's really, really ruddy good. And yeah, wins head. He just looks like a really good all-round forward. He's 19 years old. Yeah, and I think he'd be a really good player to sign. Now, I want to just quickly highlight the fact how many Chelsea fans would be like, oh, give us Gyökeres, give us Osimhen. Fine. I'm 100% with you. I'm not saying don't sign a good senior striker. I'm interested in that. But we need to qualify for the Champions League. And it's not a given, guys. It's not a given. So if it's Chelsea do business in January to make sure we qualify or not, I'm getting a 19-year-old Mathys Tel. You know, there's talk about loan options as well. Evan Ferguson at Brighton apparently could be loaned, and Premier League clubs are interested. I'd take him on loan because he's a striker. He's a centre forward. Again, just to reiterate, Nkunku's not a centre forward. Yeah, Jackson's not long been a centre forward in his career, maybe a couple of years. And then you've got Gu, who's a bit of a sort of like battering ram teenager, old school centre forward, but maybe not sophisticated and developed to play, this kind of brand of football just yet. We need another striker. It's simple. It's simple as that. We just need another actual centre forward that can take the pressure off Jackson, that can drive Jackson on, and just can bench him if he's not playing good enough. Do you know what I mean? And if that's Mathys Tel, I'm down, bro. Put out to you guys. Let me know what you think. Please do leave your comments down in the comment section below. If you're yet to check out Stocks FC and you think it's something that you find fun and you like stuff like FPL and 18 plus version, scan the code or check out the link in the description or comment or pin a comment. And yeah, see you soon. Peace.